Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters and viewers of IQRA TV, welcome to another edition of Real Talk, the program that comes to your homes week in, week out, bringing to you issues that people find, I hope, interesting, enlightening, something that touches your lives on a day-to-day basis. As I keep saying, we've talked about a number of issues over the past many months, ranging from hate crime to death to bereavement, etc. Today I've got some really special guests who are going to bring some light entertainment, in a way, not entertainment, but some light and more refreshing issues compared to what we've spoken about in the last few months. But they're also equally as important, both as Muslims, as citizens, not only of the town where we live, the country where we are, but the world itself as well. Because as Muslims we have multiple responsibilities across all sorts of areas, whether it's to do with our fellow human beings, our environment, etc. And today what we're going to talk about is an initiative that started in Bradford a few months ago by a few brothers and sisters. The sister, I've been told, is the one driver behind this initiative, who is not with me at the moment, but will join me later on in the program. So at the moment I have with me Hafiz Muhammad Aziz Khan Sahab and brother Faisal Khan, who used to be a former councillor, both from Bradford. And the initiative that they're working on and they're part of is called Bradford for Better. Bradford, 4 as in figures, for better. And this initiative was started a few months ago, as I say, probably a year ago or something. I'll ask my friends and they will tell us what it was all about. But it's all to do with us as Muslims living in the environment that we live in and what our responsibilities are in that environment, not just to ourselves, our fellow brothers and sisters, whether they be Muslims or not, but also to the environment, to the people surrounding us, the animals, etc. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hafiz Sahab, welcome to this program. Faisal Sahab, welcome. Can you just introduce, you are Hafiz Faisal Khan Sahab. Muhammad Aziz Khan. Muhammad Aziz. You're Faisal Khan Sahab.
Yeah.
You're both Bradford people.
Ji.
You were born in Bradford, I presume.
Ji.
You, sir, are you born in Bradford?
Yes.
So
Proper
you're Bradfordians,
UK,
proper Bradfordians. So you have, as they say, real emotional attachment to the city.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
So can you tell me, sir, I mean, how did this initiative started? What was the driver behind it? Faisal Sahab?
Aziz, do you want to?
Ji, all right, Hafiz Sahab,
mashallah, Sister Inaya, mashallah, I think around about April,
right.
May this year started the initiative.
Well, this year was
It's
it?
only this
Right.
year, so it's very, very new. It's about 5 to 6 months old. And she made this into a pressure group, to be honest, to put pressure on the council, local services to do more in our Bradford.
Right.
And it was to do with the cleanliness, it was to do with antisocial behaviour, the fireworks, and the dangerous driving. So these were the 4 core main objectives of Bradford for Better when it initially started. Later on, as we progressed, we realised that council and the police service and the fire service were a key factor in any council, in any environment, and we need to work with them.
Right.
So now we're in partnership with
Right.
these services, trying to help them and to better our areas. So we're working on these 4 different avenues or 4 different aspects,
Right.
and alhamdulillah we've come a long way since we started.
No, it's a very short period of time.
Very
I
short
mean, I've seen
period.
parts of some of the work that you've done on your Facebook page or website, etc. It's very impressive. Now, obviously, at the moment, the fireworks seasons is upon us. Guy Fawkes Night, etc. So it's quite apt that that is one of the initiatives. But Faisal Sahab, how did you get involved in this? I know you're a former councillor.
Yeah, I mean,
so did you get involved when you were a councillor or afterwards?
well, actually, myself and Aziz, we go back quite a few years in terms of trying different initiatives, and other people have tried different initiatives over the years, and they're not always very sustainable. And having that kind of momentum, I think what's special about this particular campaign is the amount of people that have joined, the speed that it's grown at, and it's got some real momentum with it.
Right. So how many people do you say have you got in your groups? And you work across Bradford, don't you?
Gee.
All across Bradford.
We have over 2,200 people just on our
Mashallah,
Facebook that are participating,
Right.
and we have a similar number in our WhatsApp groups as well. So this is across.
That's a big group.
Across Bradford, yes.
Yeah, and if you look at the cleanups, was it 200 streets, I think?
Over 220
that
streets.
cleaned up last time.
Subhanallah.
And you can just multiply the number of volunteers, obviously, that were involved in that.
So when you do
particular
a cleanup, can you just run me through the process of what you do? How do you announce it? How do you get the people involved? How do people join you? I mean, their publicity, etc. How do people find out which areas are going to target?
It's been quite organic in some ways.
Right.
So as a group, we're still learning. I mean, my role is less of a leadership, it's a more supportive role. But people like Aziz and Sister Inayat, they've taken a good, strong leadership role in this. And it shows that, if people feel strongly about something, you can make a difference. It just needed that initial spark for someone to say, we need to do something. And so the WhatsApp groups have been created initially where people started to join. A small core group was created and it's become quite structured in the way that it's organised. And as more and more people have got involved, they've brought their different skill sets to it. So actually there's so much talent out there in the community. You asked earlier about early initiatives. We did something called Proud for BD3 quite a few years ago. So, in terms of the issue has always been there. It's the fact that you've now got a momentum and a large number of people involved, and it's keeping that momentum, and it's making sure that the right messaging goes out so that whatever we do is sustainable. What you don't want to do is just clean up the streets and then
one hit and wonder.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, absolutely laudable. And this is what Islam teaches us. As Muslims, we have a responsibility to our environment. We have to. Islam is very, very particular and emphasizes cleanliness for ourselves as well as our surroundings. How you agree with that? Can I just say? I mean, obviously, our listeners, our viewers who are watching and listening to the discussion. If anybody would like to contribute, then please, as usual, ring the number that is on the screen, 01274 214 299, and I'm sure our guests and others would welcome your thoughts and your ideas. I mean, coming back, obviously you've got 2,000 people, as roughly you're saying, who are now part of this amazing, fantastic campaign. I mean, what age profile are these people? They start from very young, and you've got old people involved or not? Do you have? Is it a mixed group of Muslims, non-Muslims, white, non-white, etc.?
To be honest, it's across the board.
Right.
Really, everybody's involved.
Right.
Even in the core group, we have Tim, and we have from the Sikh community as well, Balbir Singh. So we've got a mixed community in the core group itself, which reaches out to all faiths, all races as well. And like I said, it's an initiative for all of Bradford.
Right.
It's reaching out to all the Bradford. You mentioned about how we are enrolling people or how we getting people on board. It's all through the Facebook, WhatsApp. So it's mouth to mouth, you can say. People getting involved inside in the project itself. So that's one way, and it's all done by volunteers. There's no pay. There's there's nobody there on a wage, and we've got donations. We've had businesses who donate. People come publicly, so we've had litter pickers which have been donated to us, vests that have been donated. I
was going to ask you all that, yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. No, carry on.
One printer says as many stickers as we want to print out, they're willing to give them free of charge to us as well.
Excellent.
So people are coming in the droves to help support, and even if anybody else wants to donate, while we're on the air, if they want to help, any contribution will go towards.
And I'm sure, of the residents of Bradford, whether, we are Muslim, non-Muslim, of Asian background or not, everyone must be very proud of the city of Bradford and where they live. And I'm sure people would want to contribute. But Faisal Sahab, can you just run me through what happens if you announce a day, and I saw one of your posters on the 21st of September, you announced that you're going to do a cleanup. So what happens during the day? Obviously you probably congregate somewhere and then...
Just coming back to the early question about the kind of people that are involved, it is different age groups and it's different people from different backgrounds, and the mechanisms are it is social media, but a lot of it's word of mouth.
Right.
So it's I'll know this person, and I say, look, this is what I'm doing this weekend. Why don't you join? And I can send it to my personal contacts, the WhatsApp grouping and say, look, this is our group for our area. Can you help and contribute? So, you know, that person might say, yeah, I can't come this weekend, but I can contribute in a different way. Or maybe I'll come next time.
Right.
So a lot of the recruitment is around personal contacts. Some of it is quite organic and it's from social media. People see it on Facebook and said, look, I'm interested. If it's an organisation like a school, etc., you know, they'll get in touch as well. I think something like 20 schools now have been in touch.
Oh, right. Wow.
And they want to be involved as well in these initiatives. So whether it's masjids that want to get involved, the bottom line is it's not just about you know, cleaning the place, etc. It's about a change in behaviour, because littering starts from the individual in terms of what they throw on the floor. And it's, you know, just the very act of cleaning, going out there and having high-vis jackets on. I had a situation where somebody stopped. You know, they were driving along, stopped in the car. They asked, "What's going on?" So, you know, even if you don't get to clean and you get to talk to somebody and say, "Look, this is what we're doing," and everybody's been really supportive, because I think everyone can see it's a problem, but it becomes insurmountable if they think they can't contribute.
Yes.
But if everyone can contribute their, you know, whether it's
Even
their time or their money or their effort.
Even if they stop littering by watching you, instead of, you know, people throwing things out of the car, they stop doing that. That in itself is a big ibadat as well, isn't it?
Definitely.
So you know, they'll see you cleaning it up. So they, in the past they may have thrown something out, then, you know, but they might not do that. So that's quite important.
So I mean, it isn't sustainable to just keep cleaning. What's going to be sustainable is not to litter in the first place, and to be proud of the environment that you live in. It's that situation with a frog. If you put a frog in a tepid water and you boil it slowly, the frog doesn't realise until it's being boiled to death. So we've almost ended up in that situation where it's got worse and worse and worse, and you have to just stop and pause and look around. And
you've been doing this since April, as Hafiz mentioned, right? And how many campaigns have you run? So the cleanup campaigns.
Cleanup campaigns, we've done 2 successful ones.
Right.
So one in July, one in September.
Right.
The next one is actually a 3-day event.
Right.
So we made it a 3-day event so the schools can get involved, because a lot of schools obviously.
So at the moment it's weekends, is it?
It was weekends,
Right.
either a Saturday or a Sunday. But this next one we're doing is on the 9th, 10th and 11th of November. So this will be after the bonfire cleanup.
Remember that, my brothers and sisters and viewers, particularly of Bradford, 9th, 10th and 11th of November are important dates for the cleanup of Bradford. Anybody who's around and has got, you know, a few hours to spare or a few minutes to spare, by all means, please get in touch with them and make your contribution. As Brother Faisal said, it doesn't have to be there, you just picking up litter and bagging it up. You could contribute in different ways as well. Now, you touched on masjids and madrasas. I know before we came on air, I asked you this question, and you were saying that lots of the masjids and the madrasas are linked into this campaign. I mean, can you just talk me through how that works and how madrasas are contributing to this?
Masjids are pivotal, you know, for especially in our community, Muslim community, because we go there for the Jummah and all our children go there to the madrasas. So when we contact the masjid, we ask them by making that a focal point on the day. So in this case, they can choose either Saturday or Sunday. Normally the cleanup will happen in before Zohar Namaz, about 10:30 till 12:30. So the whole thing is, once we've got the masjid involved, they then give that message out in their locality via Jummah or to the students who come to the madrasa to help and come on that day. And then they all come and meet on the day, whether it be Saturday or Sunday, and then from there they go out. If they need equipment, litter pickers, bin liners, gloves, then they can also be provided. And this is where council has a big, is a big help. They normally help and provide each area if they want these, and they give them these.
So the council is contributing.
Council contributes.
So they provide it, because I mean, obviously for health and safety reasons, it's better to have a litter picker than using your hands.
I mean, at the moment they lend it to us and then we give them it back. But there is some brothers who have contributed, and we've actually purchased 100 litter pickers, so we can actually give them to the masjid or the schools to use on a permanent basis. The key factor is to get this message to the children, especially the new generation. And like you mentioned, if we can drill it into the new students and adults as well, don't litter, you know, just don't stop littering. One of the messages I wanted to send out, you know, nis iman, you know, is cleanliness.
Yes.
As we know, to lead by example, if everybody could just adopt one thing, it'd make a great contribution, make a great difference to the whole area. If they just on a daily basis picked up 5 litter items off the floor and put it in bins, you know, it would help clean up the whole of Bradford area. You know, the whole idea of Bradford for Better is not to exist forever. If it does, fantastic, but it's to get the message through, and hopefully people after that will have changed.
It's the mindset, isn't it?
Mindset, they would have changed to clean the way they would think, why are you telling us? We already keep.
I mean, obviously you I presume you teach in the madrasa as well. Now we're council professors, are you? Well, I mean, which parts of Bradford do you live in?
Both BD3 actually.
Oh, you're both from the same area. And I mean, obviously you probably work with these kids as well when you're doing the litter picking campaign. And do you notice a difference in the behaviour and the attitude of young people once they've joined your group?
The children love it actually.
Do they?
You know, and I always think back to, you know, Prophet peace be upon him led by example. And so, you know, if you just when we were cleaning up, I took my daughter and my niece with me. And I just reflected, I thought, you know, for them, you know, this is just such an important lesson that I'm able to teach them. You know, I didn't think this is what I was doing, but actually it's not just about picking the litter up. I'm actually teaching them that actually this is really important. And they you know, want to be part of that. They, you know, they really enjoyed it. Certainly the previous campaign, what I ran as a counsellor, it was a Proud of BD3 campaign. It was a poster campaign. And it was done with the children in mind, because I'm not saying we give up on this generation, but certainly it's the future generation that's going to really transform the landscape. And if you know, as I say, if you can teach by example, it's the best way to teach.
Obviously, climate change is a major issue of concern, and young people are very much engaged into that. I think we are at fault, our generation, the generation before. Allah maaf kare, Allah bachaye, every one of us. I'm probably one of the worst. And I remember I used to be a smoker many years ago. Allah ki mehraban, I gave up a long time ago. But I once heard somewhere that anybody who smokes a packet of cigarette, they don't realize that the amount of rubbish that actually a cigarette uses, that you throw out, the stubs from each cigarette, is about 40 items. If you count the 30 cigarettes in the packet, plus the plastic wrapping, the foil and everything else. So every person who smokes, and if they discard all those items that the cigarette packet contains, you're actually discarding 40 items onto the floor, onto the ground. So, you know, just that one sort of habit has a major impact on the environment around you. Well, and I thank Allah ki mehraban, I gave up a long time ago.
I was quite shocked to discover the first clean that we did, the amount of cigarette stubs. You know, so I really thought, you know, less people are smoking, but I was shocked to find there were so many cigarette stubs.
But is there a prevalence of more smoking in our Asian, Pakistani, sub-Asian, subcontinent community than compared to the non-Asian community? Personally, I think it might be, I'm not sure. But young people obviously are getting away from cigarette, and I hope anybody who's smoking, may Allah give you strength, because it's an absolutely horrible habit. And I remember when I used to go to the masjid or even to family homes, people say, you stink. And I never realized how bad it was until I gave up smoking. And now if I'm in the masjid and somebody comes next to me who has smoked, I can understand what it really is really bad and awful. But I mean, coming back, I mean, we're talking about the cleanup campaign, but now it's the season of the Guy Fawkes and the fireworks and all that. So can we just very briefly talk about that? What are you doing around that, please?
We've liaised with the fire service department in 2-3 districts of Bradford. The main idea is to help the fire services by accompanying them when they go out on the nights and the nights before the actual bonfire night. there's been some really antisocial behavior from youths in the past. I mean, hopefully if I can relate a message to the youth here, you know, they need to understand, especially our Muslim youth, we need to reach out to them that, you know, the things that are haram, that are impermissible in Islam, yeah, first and foremostly they have to understand that fireworks has got no place in Islam.
Islam, yes.
It's, you know, it's a waste, it's a fazul kharchi. And you know and you can see the halat in Palestine and in Yemen, in the poor region, even Kashmir, you know, and Syria, where the war-torn countries are, what they are going through. So first and foremostly, I would advise them to save this money and send it to the poor.
I agree with you. I mean, obviously, we'll come back to that in a minute because I know we're going to be going to a break very soon. And I know Faisal Saab unfortunately has to leave us, and then we'll be joined by Inayat after the break. I mean, obviously, you know, good luck to you. I totally respect you. May Allah give you even more strength, and may more and more people like you join this campaign. But very briefly, going out with your daughter and your niece, do you feel that that's also helped you to create a bond between yourself and them?
Absolutely, because in our busy lives we never find time to spend time with our children, and it's a great opportunity.
Exactly.
You know, and people might be a bit reticent to go out there, but actually once you get out, you think, why didn't I do this earlier? You know, it's really good, and it's not just myself. There's another friend. He brought his kids out, and then the kids start talking to each other as well. So actually, people are communicating, networking.
It's better than spending time on a computer and laptop.
Absolutely, on your laptop and being totally isolated. And alhamdulillah, last time we did it, the weather was excellent.
Right.
So,
and I hope that the weather on the 9th, 10th, you know, inshallah, will be even equally better as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously you will carry on with this campaign, inshallah.
Definitely.
You know, and more people join you, and I mean the council will continue to support you as well. But in terms of the other campaigns around antisocial behaviour and stop speeding, which is also I've seen on your website. I mean, these are equally important, aren't they? And we can talk about that after the break. You know, but you will probably continue with the whole of the campaign, not just the cleaning side, I presume. Is it?
Well, I mean, mine is more a supportive role.
Right.
So
moral support is equally more important than anything else.
Absolutely. You know, you're right. It's not just about litter. I mean, certainly on Bonfire Night, the nights leading up to there, there's quite a few people involved who are going to be out on the streets to make sure that people are safe. If there is any sort of issue, any tension, to try to calm that down. So you know, we'll be there. As you say, once you become a counsellor, the work never stops. It never stops. Right. So even though I'm not a counsellor anymore, once you've got the bug, because you know we all care about the areas that we live in, and you don't have to have a title or anything. You just have to be a member of the community and just to care. That's all that really matters. And
so, I mean, obviously, you know, I'm really grateful, Faisal Khan Saab, for coming here, former councillor of Bradford. I mean, people like you give encouragement to people like me. You know, this is something that all of us should be getting involved in. All of us should be mindful of, and all of us should make sure that we look at not just after our family and our friends, our neighbours, but our environment. And I've drummed this message over and over again. I'm sure my viewers will be sick of hearing me saying this, that we don't just have responsibility for ourselves and our friends, but we have responsibility for our neighbours, and that includes animals within our neighbourhood as well. So inshallah, I hope you found this interesting so far, the first part of the programme. I'm really grateful to Faisal Saab, who has to leave us. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Inshallah, we'll have you back soon. Inshallah, I'll see you soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.